After listing the kosher and non-kosher animals and many of the laws of ritual purity and impurity, this week's double parsha Tazria Metzora turns to a very specific case, the Metzora. The Metzora is often translated as a leper, even though the condition described in the Torah is not the medical leprosy we know today. It's a spiritual affliction that manifests through physical signs. The Torah outlines the entire process, how a person becomes a Metzora, how only a Kohen can diagnose him, how he must be quarantined twice for 7 days each, and only then can he be definitively declared a Metzora. Later, once he heals, the Torah describes the detailed purification process he must undergo before returning to a state of ritual purity. One requirement is that every person purified from tzaraat must bring 3 offerings: a guilt offering, a sin offering, and a burnt offering. After describing this process, the Torah adds an interesting wrinkle. If he is poor and cannot afford it, then he shall take 1 lamb for the guilt offering. But for the other 2 offerings, he may bring birds instead. Rav David Tzvi Hoffman explains that ideally a person of means brings a lamb for each of the 3 offerings. The verse therefore must mean if the Metzora cannot afford 3 lambs, he must still bring a lamb for the guilt offering, but he may substitute doves for the sin and burnt offerings. This raises an interesting question. If the Torah makes accommodations for the poor person for 2 of the offerings, why not for the guilt offering as well? Why must even the poorest individual bring the same guilt offering as the wealthiest? Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch offers a thought-provoking insight. When a person acts wrongly, recognizes it, and seeks to return to God, the fact that he is rich or poor is irrelevant. Each of us is given a different station in life, each with its own challenges and tests. God surely takes those circumstances into account. But when it comes to guilt, the moral lapse that led to the tzaraat in the first place, that responsibility is the same for everyone, no matter who the person is. Because the guilt of the rich and the poor is the same, the guilt offering must be the same. As Tazria jokes in Fiddler on the Roof about wealth, may the Lord smite me with it, and may I never recover. And in Pirkei Avot, chapter 4, Mishnah 9, teaches, whoever fulfills the Torah in poverty will ultimately fulfill it in wealth, and whoever neglects the Torah in wealth will ultimately neglect it in poverty. Wealth and poverty don't determine righteousness. A person determines righteousness and then chooses how to handle whatever circumstances they've been given. The guilt offering speaks to that inner core, the root of the person. By requiring the same guilt offering from rich and poor alike for the purification of the Metzora, the Torah is teaching that accountability is universal and that real change begins not from without, but from within. Shabbat Shalom.